channel. We are going on another family adventure today. Today we're going kayaking. I know, we've done lots of videos of us kayaking, but today it is Paddle Fest 2019 at the Caney. So we're gonna go check it out and see what it's all about.
So the Caney Fork is a river out here in Tennessee near Carthage, and it's a cold river. It's really cold, so on a hot day like this, it's really nice. That wind blows off that water. It does not feel hot at all. It could be 103 degrees outside and it will feel like it's 72. It's amazing. It's a nice little floating river, nothing too fast, nothing too crazy. You just float and drink and chill, talk to people, have a good time.
What I like to do, I like to float and drink. That's why I like kayaking.
We got Katie behind us, her car, with her friends, and it's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. We'll see you when we get there.
We're just now talking about this because we were absolutely traumatized.
It was traumatizing. It was bad. It was bad.
I was so sore. I wanted to literally actually die. Let me tell you about what happened. See, we bit off more than we could chew.
Way more than we could chew.
And we went on an adventure that never ended to the Caney, and we're like, hell yeah, we're gonna do the whole river today.
That would have been fine. However, we started at like 3 o'clock.
It was not very smart, but in all honesty, I thought that because the river was going to be like generating, that we would just make our way down with the river. I thought that it was gonna be like just a smooth, constant sailing ride. Well, and it probably would have been, but we like
Started at 3 o'clock.
started at 3 o'clock, and we ended up like just basically like not paddling the whole like first hour that we were there. We were just like, oh, the water's moving. Oh. So we didn't keep up with the water.
No.
So then it stops generating, and the entire river stops moving. As the sun is going down, we're only like a fourth of the way there.
Oh my gosh, it was terrible.
It was awful.
So we so we start paddling as fast as possible.
And then we like ran out of gas.
We ran out of gas.
And the sun went down.
It was
And
pitch black.
Kaylee was lost.
I was lost. I somehow got separated from the group. Well, because they were paddling super fast, and I was like, okay, I'll paddle. So, and then we were on the river, in pitch black.
I couldn't see my hand in front of my face, and I said, oh my God, we need to stop and wait for Kaylee because I don't know where she is. And
we didn't know how far away from them, because I mean there's only one way to go down the river, but we didn't know how far away from them we were.
because they were like a good 20 minutes behind us.
Yep.
Somehow, and I was like sitting there still on the river because I wasn't moving anywhere because the river wasn't moving. I was
Yep.
not paddling, and I was sitting there like I was Rose on the door in Titanic, whistling like this because I was out of gas to the point where like I couldn't even whistle.
Yeah. And then Clint's boat filled up with water. I don't think I
Yes.
told y'all that.
Oh my gosh. And then whenever I was draining it, whenever we got home because it rained
Mhm.
a couple days later, I found out that his little
Plug was
Plug?
gone.
disappeared.
No, it was gone before we went
Was
there.
it?
Yeah. But we didn't think it was going to be a big deal. But since we started paddling so fast to try and catch up, we thought he was throwing water into his boat.
Yeah.
So he, like, straight up at one point, while I was trying to catch up to them, was underwater in his boat. And I was like, we need to pull off and drain your boat. And so we did that, and that took a minute because there was a lot of water in there. So then we were even further from them in the pitch black. And not to mention the bugs.
Oh my God, the bugs. There was a ton of little like no-see-um bugs, and they were like
Oh,
caked on us by the time we
you
got
couldn't
there.
breathe without breathing in a bug.
And it was so foggy. The fog was so dense. It was like you were swimming through steam.
Oh, it was bad.
It was crazy. And my arms hurt so bad whenever we got to where we needed to be that I said, I'm hungry, but I also feel like I need to throw up because my arms hurt so bad.
Yeah. No, so I was paddling and they were standing still and we were all whistling because I was whistling too. So if you were whistling,
I was whistling.
I was whistling. And finally I was like, I was panicking because I can't see at night, obviously. It was pitch black. You can't see the water. So we were going over like these rapids. Did y'all hit those in the dark too?
I almost flipped over.
I almost, like, seriously, I panicked.
I almost flipped over, and Eric turned around, like, I heard him, and he was like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like,
Yeah, but you can't see how deep the water is. You can't see any of the logs sticking up, so we kept running into logs and almost tipping because of it. We were going over rapids. We were hitting things. It was, like, the worst thing in the world. And finally, I'm just, like, about to, like, full-on panic attack, like, hyperventilate, and I see, like, a light, and I was like, shine it again! If that's you! shine it again, because I thought I was going crazy at this point.
It's like that mirage thing that happens whenever you're stuck in the middle of the like desert and all that you can see is the thing that you want, so you envision a lake of water. Well, we were envisioning dry land. We were like, is that it? Is that the dock?
It wasn't the dock.
It wasn't the dock, I assure you. But it was my watch.
It was her watch, yes. And I was like, because they both lit up their watches, and y'all took a minute to get them lit up, and I was like, oh my god, I'm going crazy. Like, that wasn't them, that was a bug or something, I'm going crazy. And then they lit them up, and I was like, oh thank god, I've never been more happy in my life to see you guys.
And so we're like struggling paddling like the rest of the way, which was like 2 or 3
2 miles.
And so we're like dragging ass behind the dudes, and the dudes are like going for it. Like, they're like, well, I just need to get the fuck out of here.
Well, and
like,
they're like trying to navigate us because we can't see.
yeah, so they're turning on their watches and their phones and stuff so that we could see like where we were going and how far away from them we were, because it was hard.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
And every time they turned the lights on their phones, the bugs like swarmed them. So they would like go to the left. And so we'd all go to the left, and then they were like, okay, we're gonna shine our lights. Turns them off, and oh my god, it was traumatizing.
Absolutely horrible.
We haven't been kayaking since.
We haven't been kayaking since, and I don't know that I will ever go kayaking that late in the day ever again, because I'm terrified of what just happened to us. It was
We didn't get off of the
traumatizing.
river. We didn't get off of the river until 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. And there aren't like lights on the river, and everyone's asleep, so their house lights aren't lit up or anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and our phones aren't strong enough to like see where we're at on the river, so we were just paddling until
Paddling into the abyss.
Yes.
Is what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So then, once we actually got to the dock, Eric and the boy, what's his name? Clint, was helping us get out of the boats, the kayaks. And Eric grabbed my hands, and my arms were shaking to the point where I could not, like, I was like, please don't let go. Please don't let go, because if you let go, I'm gonna fall. Like,
It was bad.
and then on the way home, my arms hurt so bad and my hands hurt so bad that I turned the heat on as high as it would go, and I just put my hands right up against it, and I threw up the whole way home.
Yeah, and it was cold because we got soaked. All of us were soaking wet from trying to paddle so hard. So it was cold. So I turned the heat on in my car too, and the heated seats on my back. Ooh,
It was like 80 degrees outside, but it was like 20 degrees less near the river
mm-hmm.
for some reason. So like the breeze coming off of the cold water, and that water is so cold.
It was so cold. So, and then we all went and got Taco Bell.
We got Taco Bell, and I took 2 bites of it, and then I started throwing up.
Oh no!
I was like, ah!
I went ham.
And so, like, Eric, the whole time, like, the last, like, little trip right before we caught up with Kaylee, he was like, let me hook you on to my thing. And I was like, no, I'm gonna do this myself. I'm not a 2-year-old. I don't need your help. Da, 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 da. Now I wish I would have just taken his help, because I was fucked up afterward. And I took everything that I could possibly take in order to, like, make my arms feel better. I took the BioFreeze,
yeah.
and I soaked my arms in BioFreeze and then lathered them in lidocaine cream. Like, I did not want to feel my fingers at all.
Yeah, our hands were like stuck like this.
I was like, little claw.
So,
Anyways,
that was our adventure.
That's the conclusion to the adventure that never ended on the river. That will never happen again.
Whose idea was it to do the entire river at 3 o'clock? Was that Eric's idea? Was it Eric's idea?
That was my idea.
Was it your idea?
Well, and actually, to be honest, though, we were going to get started early, but then we
8
had
o'clock.
to do things. We had to go pick up Kaylee's kayak from her dad's house, because her dad and Nikki bought her a kayak for whenever we went with them before she had her own kayak. So we had to get hers
Clint.
from them for Clint.
Yeah.
And then
we
it took
slept in
forever.
late.
Yeah, we did. We slept in a little bit, but not that much. But we stopped at like Starbucks because we're basic bitches. And then we went to Hendersonville to pick that up. And then we had to drive from Hendersonville to the Caney Fork River, which is like an hour and a half.
Well, and we ate breakfast that day too.
And we had breakfast because Allison wanted to cook breakfast.
Yes.
And we can't say no to her. So that is what happened. And we can finally put out the video of the day that never was.
The day that never ended. The day that just would not end.
Do you have anything else?
Can you imagine if Dakota?
Oh no. Absolutely not.
Oh God.
And Clint, I gotta say, Clint was a fucking trooper, man.
He didn't complain
He didn't
at
complain
all,
not
man.
even one time. And then he helped Eric like load the kayaks up. We didn't have to do any of the work, and I totally appreciate that. That was good points on him. We're gonna go ahead and say goodbye for now. More adventures to come because we're gonna go do a fun thing on Saturday.
Yes, we are. Woo!
And then beer and football on Sunday.
Boop boop.
And fantasy football time. So I will see you again soon and more adventures to come.
Bye.
Bye.